Hi everyone, Laurel with the Blitsy creative team today, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about these irresistible textured sprays by Tsukineko. I have quite a bit of colors here. Wait, I'm not done. I lost the caps to these, I know. So anyway, these are awesome. They're little sprays, similar to what you see in the mists, except these are different. And how they're different is it's a textured spray. They're color tinted textured sprays. So when you spray them on, mist them on, however you apply your mists, they dry with this super cool texture. So I love them. They come in a bunch of different colors. So I want to show you two projects today using these sprays. Very, very clean and simple projects, very easy to do. Okay, this is just a piece of regular, this is actually watercolored paper. You don't have to use watercolor paper. This is just, was already trimmed down, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I have this sitting on my desk. I tend to work off things I just see on my desk. I don't know if that's how you roll. But this is a die cut that I made, eons ago. See, when you make your projects, I keep all of my stuff here. I'm going to show you. This is embarrassing. But all of my die cut stuff I keep in these little bowls that are, extras that I made or things I just didn't use on a project. So it makes pulling together a card pretty easy when you have all those sitting there. So anyway, I saw this. This is just a die cut. But I used, if you have a die cutting machine or a silhouette or something like that, any kind of die will work for this. But I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to pair it up. Let's see. I'm going to use the Irresistible Textured Spray in the color Lulu Lavender. And on this one, I am going to use it as a spray. So when I use sprays, I like my mess to be contained. So this is a shoebox. I think it's my son's shoebox from some shoes. And then I'm going to go ahead and spritz this on just as I would a mist. I'm working from above. I'm working from, I don't know, maybe 3 feet above. I don't know if you can see. Let me make sure I'm in camera. And I'm just going to start spritzing. And I'm trying to focal all of my spray on this side right here. I just thought it would be cool. So it's just that simple, seriously. And then I'm going to put the cap back on so I don't lose them like I lost the other two. You can even combine colors, so let's do that. I'm going to go in and combine this, what's this color called? Ladybug. And I'm just going to add a little bit towards the bottom, spraying it out. There, just like that. Oh, let's add another color. Why not? Let's get all crazy. This is Angel Pink. So I'll put it over, whatever. There. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. Let me pull it out of here and set this aside to dry. And you'll see what I mean by the texture that it leaves behind. So I'm going to set this one aside. And then I'm going to work off of my next one. Because this is just a standard top folding card here. Nothing special about it. And then this time, I'm going to use this spray, not in the spray format. I'm going to kind of flatten this out a little bit. I'm going to take it out of the bottle here, and I'm going to use the little stick, and I'm going to flick it on that way. And in doing it this way, you get more control over where your mists, land. And I kind of wanted that control, and I also wanted the drip drop look versus the splatter look. So I am just going in, making sure I have this everywhere I want it. I am totally digging these big puddles here. This, I don't think I told you the color, but this is just gold. And then you're left with these super big puddles here. So again, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's all dry. And then we'll just put together the card, very clean and simple card. While those are drying, I want to go ahead and work on this die. This is the thanks die. Again, I found it in that little bowl of goodies there. So that's going to go on one of my cards. So I decided it didn't need to be white. It needed to pop a little bit. So I'm going to take a Versamark ink pad, which is a clear sticky ink for heat embossing, and I just smooshed that onto my die. This is some Zing Black Glitter embossing powder. It has this really cool glitter in it. So I literally pulled that piece of paper out of my garbage and I folded it in half to give me a little crease. And I'm going to sprinkle on that embossing powder with a spoon, just making sure that I get complete coverage there. Then I've got a piece of little tweezers there, and I'm going to pick up a little piece of that and kind of flick off the excess. And then I'm going to heat set this with my heat tool. And when it melts, it gives you, not only is it black, but it gives you these little pieces of like glitter in it. It's super neat. There's a lot of embossing powders that have this characteristic here. So then you take the scratch paper and then just funnel it back into your container there. That's the easiest way I found to kind of keep the glitter contained and from getting all over the place. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull together this first card here that we made with the 3 different colors of that textured spray. I'd say it probably took about 10 to 15 minutes to dry. The red is what took the longest because it was such a thick drop of color that I put down. So what I'm going to do is take that textured spray panel and I'm going to adhere that down to a card base. I've just got a top folding card there. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but we're going to end up trimming that down and you'll see in just a second. And I went ahead and adhered that flat to the card base. I'm going to pop up this little heart die with some foam dimension. I'm using little foam squares, but the store carries different kinds of dimension. It's just double-sided. They come in squares and circles and whatever. I had a little bit hanging off the edge there that I didn't want to see, so I just cut that off with some scissors. And then I'm going to peel off that backing paper and adhere that down. And that's pretty much the card, but I decided that there was too much space on the left and right. There was just too much pink showing. So I'm going to grab my trimmer here and I'm going to trim off 1/8 of an inch. So it's going to wind up being 4 inches by 5 1/2. So it'll be 4 inches wide by 5 1/2 long. And then that just seemed to just go better. And then for this next card, very simple, I'm going to take that die cut that we just heat embossed with that black sparkle embossing powder, and I'm going to adhere that down to my card base there. Now, I love to use the Ken Oliver Stick It, but I had already had this piece die cut, so I couldn't use it. So when I can't use my Stick It for my die cutting, I always use this Multi-Matte Medium by Ranger. It's absolutely fantastic, and it goes on completely matte. So I am just taking it and applying it with my finger. I do not care that it's getting on the front and the side and it's oozing out all over the place. It doesn't matter, because when it dries completely matte, and it's super strong. A little goes a long way with this glue. I absolutely love it. I have probably 15 little bottles of it. I don't ever want to be without it. And as a finishing touch, I'm going to soften up this card by just rounding the top corners with my corner rounder there. I use the 1/2 inch setting, and then that's the card, the 2 cards actually. So I wanted to keep the Tsukineko textured sprays, the stars with these cards, and I think I did. Look at that texture that shines through. I just think this stuff is so stinking cool. And it's over in the Blitsy shop right now. Thanks so much for watching.